Every morning in our house starts with a sound I know by heart, Grandma's soft groan. Not loud, not panicked, just familiar. Like a quiet bell that rings the moment sunlight spills through the curtains. She sits at the edge of the bed, right hand gently massaging her left calf, left hand gripping the nightstand for balance. She doesn't stand right away anymore. She sits there, breathing, before she even thinks about placing her foot on the ground. And every time it's the same. Her left leg feels stiff, heavy, like it's been tied up all night. Sometimes I watch her slowly rotate her ankle, trying to get the blood flowing. But those first few steps, they're always unsteady, like the floor beneath her suddenly tilts to one side. I used to wonder, she sleeps 7 hours, doesn't toss, doesn't turn. So why does she still wake up tired like this? Then, I noticed something. Grandma always sleeps on the same side, her left. All her body weight pressing into that one leg for 6, maybe 7 hours. No switching sides, no pillow for support, nothing underneath to ease the pressure. And that's when the question hit me, quiet, but sharp. Could this sleeping position, something so natural and familiar, actually be cutting off her blood flow each night? And if so, is there something small I could change so she can wake up without pain? Some habits feel harmless. They become part of our nightly rhythm, repeated for years, simply because they feel comfortable. For my grandmother, it was sleeping on her left side. "It's easier to breathe this way," she'd say, "and lying on my side just feels better." And no one questioned it. She didn't toss, she didn't turn, she never complained before bed. But every morning told a different story. Her left leg, the one underneath, always felt cold and heavy. But not cold from the room. It was deeper than that. A kind of inner chill, like something inside had gone numb. Some mornings she'd sit on the edge of the bed for 5-10 minutes, gently rubbing her calf, tapping the bottom of her foot. Then she'd whisper, "It feels like there's cotton stuffed under the sole of my foot." At first, I thought it's just aging. After all, don't most older folks feel stiff in the morning? But then I noticed something else. She never changed sides, always curled on her left. Her upper knee pressing into her lower thigh, her bottom leg trapped under the weight of her own body for 6, sometimes 7 hours straight. So I started reading, looking for answers. And one article from the American Sleep Association for Seniors stopped me in my tracks. It read, "When older adults sleep on their side, without a pillow between the legs, the hips and knees press tightly together. This compresses nerves in the thigh and restricts blood flow through deeper veins. Over several hours, it can lead to reduced oxygen to the muscles, causing numbness, tingling, or even temporary loss of sensation upon waking." I read that line again and again because it sounded exactly like what I saw every morning. Her delay in standing up, her foot colder than the rest of her body, that soft wince like she was trapped inside something she couldn't name. That's when it clicked. Maybe she wasn't sleeping wrong. Maybe her body was just missing one small piece of support, just a pillow, placed gently between her knees, to stop her legs from pressing into each other, to ease the pressure off her lower leg, to keep her hips balanced and her circulation flowing. Such a small thing, but maybe, just maybe, that was all it took to help the blood reach her toes again. There are habits older folks carry, like their favorite cup of tea, not because a doctor told them to, not because they read it in a book, but simply because they've always done it that way. My grandma is one of them. She always sleeps on her left side, every night. Pillow fluffed just right, blanket pulled gently to her shoulder. And once she falls asleep, She never shifts. I used to think that meant she was sleeping well, but every morning, she would sit up slowly, both hands wrapped around her left calf. The same side she always sleeps on. Still numb, huh? Feels like little ants under the skin. At first, I brushed it off. It's just poor circulation, I told myself. It's normal. She's getting older. But then I noticed something else. Something small and strange. Her left leg. It was always colder. When I placed my hand on both her legs, one was soft and warm. The other tight, cold, as if it had been quietly compressed all night long. So I started experimenting. That night, I waited until she was sound asleep. The room was quiet, still. I slipped in with a small pillow, nothing fancy, just a soft cushion from the couch. I gently lifted her top leg and placed the pillow between her knees. She didn't stir, not even a sigh, just kept breathing steadily in the dark. The next morning, nothing dramatic. But as she poured her tea, she said softly, my leg's not numb today. That's odd. I said nothing, because I knew if I mentioned the pillow, she'd wave it off. Don't bother, I'm used to it. Night 2, same quiet routine. This time, something shifted. At around 3 a.m., I noticed she changed sides. The first time she had done that in months. And the next morning, she said, I switched sides last night. Felt kinda nice, actually. Maybe it's time to stop sleeping on just one side. So I made one more gentle change. 3, actually. A small pillow under her hip, a thin folded towel along her lower back, a soft foam pad under her lower knee. All from around the house. No fancy gear, no special equipment, just thoughtful support. Right where her body needed it. 3 nights later, she turned to me, eyes half smiling, and asked, "Hey, where's that pillow from the other night?" The one between my legs, I think I sleep better with it. Feels like someone's holding me, gently. I almost cried, because that morning, for the first time in ages, she walked to the porch without rubbing her leg, without leaning on the wall, without a frown. She simply stepped into the light, tea in hand, eyes calm, feet steady. And that's when I realized you don't need to buy something new. You just need to pay attention and place one pillow in the right place. Sometimes the best solutions don't cost a thing, just a little observation, a soft pillow, and a quiet shift in habit. My grandmother always slept on her side, same side every night. One leg stretched out, the other pinned beneath her body. And every morning, that lower leg would tingle, like needles dancing on her skin. She once said, "It's like the blood gets stuck halfway, and my foot doesn't know how to wake up." That's when it clicked. Sleep isn't just about how long, it's about how right. This simple principle. Most people miss when we sleep on our side, our knees pressed together. And for younger folks, it's no big deal. But for older adults, the vessels are thinner, the nerves more sensitive, the tissues less forgiving. That top leg. It presses all night, compressing the blood vessels in the lower thigh, pinching the nerves near the knee, silently squeezing circulation where it needs to flow. And so each morning, your leg wakes slower than you do. It feels numb or hollow or cold in a way that doesn't come from the air, but from inside. 3 simple adjustments that change everything. 1. A soft pillow between the knees, not a thick one, just enough so the knees no longer touch. That alone releases pressure and lets blood move quietly and fully down through the thigh, the calf, and all the way to the toes. 2. A gentle body pillow or cushion in front, something to hug, something that keeps the torso from leaning too far forward. It prevents twisting at the waist, relieves pressure on the hips, and helps the spine stay in a soft, natural line. 3. Switch sides every 2 to 3 hours. Not during deep sleep, but before drifting off or during light sleep cycles. You can even place a small pillow behind the back, a gentle guide to encourage a new side. It's not about perfect balance every night. It's about giving both legs a chance to rest equally. What the experts say. A geriatric sleep doctor once told me, for older adults, maintaining proper sleep posture can reduce nighttime numbness and cramping by up to 50%. It also lowers the risk of morning falls caused by legs that aren't fully awake. That made me pause and rethink the whole bed, not as a place to sleep, but as a place to restore. Try it tonight. You already have what you need. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need a medical-grade pillow. Just gather what you already have: a couch cushion, a folded towel, and a moment of care. Once they've fallen asleep, slide it gently between their knees. Add another near the hips if needed. Place one behind the back, then leave the room quietly. And in the morning, watch how they move. Watch how they walk. If they step lighter, smile brighter. Stand taller without rubbing their leg. You've just given them something precious. Not just a good night's sleep, but the gift of safety, of ease, of waking up in a body that feels fully there again. Because sometimes the difference between a restless night and a peaceful one is just one pillow placed in the right place. Here is your adapted voiceover script, Part 5, Closing and CTA, One Good Night. One light morning, 600 a word styled in a warm, heartfelt, Grimm-inspired tone, perfect for your senior YouTube audience. The sun hadn't fully risen yet, just a soft light, slipping through the curtains. Grandma stepped out onto the porch, no limping, no gripping the wall, just quiet, steady steps. The wooden chair was still there. So was her morning tea, but something was different. She looked out toward the trees, then turned to her son and said, "This morning, my legs felt like they were floating." Just a few words, but for him, they meant everything. For years, she had slept on her side, same position, same leg underneath. She thought it was just a habit. She thought it was normal, until the morning started with a sigh, and feet that felt like needles were crawling beneath the skin, until she had to pause, just to trust her legs again. He had assumed it was just aging, but it wasn't. It was one tiny thing, a quiet habit repeated each night without question, and all it took to change it. A single pillow, soft, simple, placed between her knees, not expensive, not complicated, just thoughtful. Enough to stop the weight from pressing into her thigh. Enough to keep blood moving freely. Enough to give her legs a chance to rest too. And so he stood there watching her. No words, just that soft smile on her face. And he thought to himself, sleep isn't something we just go through. It's where the body heals. It's where we feel cared for. If every night is a quiet journey, then that one little pillow became her guide, helping her move from night into morning without struggle. Tonight, if someone you love sleeps on their side and wakes up with tingling or numb legs, try placing a pillow between their knees. You don't have to explain. You don't need anything fancy, just a soft cushion, a little care, and the quiet hope that maybe you're giving them a morning without pain. If this story touched you, please hit subscribe. Every week we share simple truths like this about sleep, about aging, and about the small things that quietly change everything. Because sometimes, what helps a senior sleep through the night isn't medicine or machines, but a single pillow placed in the right place by someone who notices.